software factory is an attempt at a nice collaboration between the university and industry. So Zoot does financial services software, and Clint put together a team here to help us work on some of the projects that they learn something and we get some software out of it.
The software factory is a concept that started really in Europe. One of the main individuals behind the software factory was a professor named Jürgen Munch, and he's at the University of Helsinki, and he's a colleague of mine. He has been for a number of years. And what we did is he actually invited me over there, and I looked at the software factory that they've had there for a while. And the whole idea behind the software factory, which I thought was a very nice match to have something here at Montana State, was the whole idea of creating both a pedagogical lab as well as a research lab. So the pedagogy aspects, which is probably the most important one, is the ability to create an environment that's authentic, where students can come in here and learn about entrepreneurship, learn about how to develop software, and learn about how to work with real customers that have real needs. And so at the end of your tenure throughout the software factory, you're required to have a prototype. And so what students have done in the span of an entire semester is basically learn how to develop code, learn how to design it, learn how to cater to the needs of the customer. And they've had to interact with the customer sometimes on a weekly basis to get to that point where they've achieved the requirements that the customer asked for.
So basically what we're doing is working with Zoot Enterprises, which is a local company in town that works with a lot of financial institutions and retail businesses to provide services to them. And while they're doing that, they're collecting large amounts of data in their servers, and our task is to develop a way where they can look through that data and provide a meaningful analysis of it for their customers.
A lot of what I've kind of been doing is kind of more the researching what we should be doing, so a lot of the, I guess, analysis steps on the board is kind of planning out the next phases. I've been working a lot with Mike on those phases particularly. We've kind of been meeting up a lot, kind of drawing the diagrams out, planning how we can get this to work. We've learned how to use some new software, which is always pretty fun. So, because we were doing just some stuff that the company wanted us to do, basically. So we had to learn 3 new kinds of software and get that up and running.
From a pedagogy standpoint, this is something that it's impossible to teach in a lecture format. You have to have an environment like this where students can come, interact with each other, and the other aspect of this is that open concept. Most of the new modern software engineering environments, development environments, are open in the sense that you have this open space. So the Googles and the Facebooks have been some of the seminal companies that introduced these concepts. And we try to do that within the constraints that we have here at the university. Now, for the research perspective, it creates an environment where we as researchers can actually observe the students and see how interactions between students actually affect the quality of the software that is being output. There's a lot of things that are still missing in here, microphones, videos, that we could add to actually observe the relationship between students and the actual collaboration between students, as well as immediate feedback that we get through this. For example, Kanban boards that we put throughout the factory influence and are reflected in the quality of the code. And actually there's a third component, of course, that's really important, which is the industry component. And the industry component is where we have such a vibrant community here in the Gallatin Valley, so many high-tech companies, and a lot of them want to be good citizens of the community by helping the university and by helping integrate with the university within their means. And one of the ways that they can do that is by helping us develop scope of a project that we can run through the software factory. They can benefit because they get a prototype at very low cost while at the same time benefiting the students.
Yeah, we've had a great experience working with the students. They're bright, and it brings a lot to us in the terms of having fresh eyes on problems we work with, having new people, new perspective is always great. And we get good software out of it at the end of it, hopefully, and they get a better education.